Yeah, we are here. They do a full scan, scans of things, so they needed this shit.
Alright, so we are recording.
Lovely.
The streaming wasn't working, but we'll get that uploaded to YouTube later. And yeah,
Does anyone actually watch out of Prince?
I don't know, but I will say when we're training staff, they're very helpful to have them watch past meetings.
I watched last one, so that was here.
Yeah, but you can go ahead and take it away.
Okay, welcome one and all to the June 22nd, 2023 installment of UIDRB. Our next meeting will be same place, same time, July 27th. I will not be at that meeting, by the way. I
Okay.
know you always send an email out, but I will not be attending next month. I'll swear in the city staff. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Two.
Lovely. Would you like to call the roll?
Yes. Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
all right, Ms. Gunzelman, Ms. Jones, and Ms. Parker are not present. Mr. Reeves,
Here.
Mr. Sublette,
Here.
and Mr. Samansky.
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Lovely. Did everyone have an opportunity to review the meetings from last month?
Yes.
Any revisions, any comments? Hearing none, would you call the roll, please?
Is there a motion? in-
Oh, I always forget.
Motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting. I'll second.
All right, Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Mr. Reeves.
Yes.
Mr. Sublette,
Yes.
Mr. Samansky.
Yes.
Thank you. That passes.
Which I believe will move us swiftly to our first case.
Yeah.
UID 23-04-007 and 23-04-007B,
Yes.
122 West 9th Avenue.
So this should say 120, okay, so it's 118 West 9th Avenue now, because of that lot split, there's a new address. But this is a parcel that contains a parking lot, which has recently had a lot split completed from the residential structure to the east. Today, the applicant is seeking board approval for variances and to construct a 3-unit, 12-bed apartment building with an FAR .82 on the parking lot portion of the existing property. The building will be 3 stories, about 33 feet tall, include porches for each unit, landscaping, and some green space with 8 stacked parking spaces in the rear, which is at a rate of 0.66 spaces per bed. Proposed materials include fiber cement lap siding, hardy trim, and double hung windows. And with those variances, we have lot coverage, so it's 30% maximum, and they're proposing 39.5%. For parking, there's a minimum of 14 spaces, and 8 spaces are being proposed. FAR is 0.6 maximum, and they're proposing 0.82. Height is 26 feet, which is average cornice deep height, and they're proposing 35 feet 6 inches, which is for the proposed cornice deep height. And then side yard is 5.4 feet minimum, and then 3 feet is being proposed for this one. So the applicant last came before the board in May 2023, where the board appreciated the composition and proportions of the proposal. The board recommended experimenting with a cohesive color palette and suggested chamfering the 2 rear walkways. In response to board feedback, the applicant updated the color palette of the exterior finishes and chamfered the walkways. And submitted materials included a variance listing, site plan, floor plans, elevations, streetscape elevation, material details, and sections. And if we pop over to those, you'll see here on the site plan that these walkways, there's kind of a nice curve to it, that chamfering process, so we have that. Everything else is the same. You see those variances listed. And then when we go to the elevations, that's when you'll notice this color change. So there's this sort of light gray with this sort of blue color, and that's consistent around the elevations. And then here's that streetscape plan, and then going into the material detail sections. So after review, the proposal is generally consistent with the University District Plan. The plan recommends this site for higher intensity residential uses, which calls for a maximum FAR 0.6, height of 45 feet, parking at a rate of 0.75 spaces per bed, and a minimum of 8% of the total lot area to be preserved as landscape open space behind the principal structure. Furthermore, the plan recommends that the overall depth of the building should be no more than 2.5 times the building's overall width, that the primary facade address the primary street and have a high level of design, and that the scale of new buildings, windows, and doors be influenced by the surrounding contributing residential buildings. Lastly, the plan calls for porches or stoops on front entrances, that landscaping and street trees be included, and that parking be located to the rear. Staff supports the variances and design. Staff notes that although the length of the structure is slightly more than 2.5 times the width of the proposed, and that the proposed FAR is 0.82, staff recognizes that the length and massing is appropriate and comparable to the lengths and massing of adjacent structures. And as such, staff recommends approval of both the variances and design. So again, there'll be one motion for the variances and then a separate motion for the design. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to raise your right hand, please? You swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Do you have anything you'd like to add to the city's very thorough explanation of the?
No, it was pretty comprehensive. The feedback from last month's meeting was fairly straightforward and mostly focused around the color and a couple of the details that we went through and addressed. So that's
Okay,
pretty much covers it all.
does anyone have any comments or questions?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
I just had one minor comment or question really on the parking. So is there a reason that the parking is shifted to one side? And really, because it looks like you already have an 8-foot space and it looks like it's right on the parking lot against the dumpster. Is there a reason that it's not shifted down?
So as part of the lot split, they're going to resurface the adjacent property and they want to resurface this at the same time. So if we were to shift it to the right, chances are that dumpster is going to end up in the grass versus being on a paved area. And then this way they can pave it all at the same time.
Okay.
I'd like to report that this project received a positive recommendation from the University Area Commission last evening.
So do you need to call out the specific variance request, or we just need to make a motion to approve the?
You'll just be making a motion to approve them, and then the variances are listed in the staff report, so you're sort of memorializing.
Do I hear a motion regarding the? variance
Yeah,
request?
I move to support the requested zoning variances.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Mr. Reed.
Yes.
Mr. Suplet,
Yes.
Mr. Simmons.
Yes.
All right, that passes.
Do I hear a motion to approve the design proposal?
Yeah, I move to approve the design as submitted.
I'll second that.
All right, got a move and second. Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Mr. Reed.
Yes.
Mr. Suplet,
Yes.
Mr. Simmons.
Yes.
Thank you. Both of us passed.
Lovely.
Awesome.
Have a good evening.
Nice work as always, Bradley.
Thanks.
We'll be in touch soon.
Before we get to the second case, do we have anyone from the visiting public that would like to comment on the upcoming case? Step forward, by all means, please. Thank you very much. Do you swear from to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please proceed.
Yes, Susan Keeney with Columbus Landmarks, and I'm here just very briefly with regard to this project. As you might know from past meetings, Columbus Landmarks was the preservation easement on the paving block. It's just mainly the front part. And I was surprised to get the staff agenda to see that it was on, the paving block was on the agenda because we hadn't been contacted by the owner. It's not the review board's responsibility or staff or the architects, it's the owner's responsibility, even if it's a very small thing, like a change of use and all. And we understand that the fire escape in the back is being altered, but I just want to say that with the preservation easement, you know, the owner, I don't know how you go about enforcing that, but the owner needs to talk with us first, just to touch base with us.
Okay.
And then my final comment was the windows on 2283 were restored and they are beautiful. The contractor did a wonderful job and we really appreciate that. If you ever want to see what a nice historic wood window looks like restored.
That's the one.
That's
Are they still single pane?
Yeah, and I think the wavy glass, I think it's still, yep.
Wow.
So it's well done.
I'm curious, when they did that, did they remove the glass and everything or leave the glass in and strip all the old paint and?
You know, I know they take the assembly down and they take it to their shop and it depends on, I mean, every window is different.
Different, yeah.
So it depends on the severity of damage. I think the wood, if they don't have to take the glass out, they don't
Yeah,
do that.
sure.
And they just try to remove the glazing as needed and
Okay,
all that stuff. It's a nice job, so
okay, very good.
that's all I.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Sure.
So with that, we move swiftly to 23-06-006A and 23-06-006B.
Hello, board. My name's Stephanie. I will be transitioning to staffing the UIDRB, and I'm going to be presenting this case. So 22, similar to the last one, this one will also be requiring two motions as they are requesting the variance to initiate the new use and then also approval of the design. So this is 2283 North High Street. It's a contributing brick structure built in 1905 and is part of the Pavey Square development. The applicant is seeking a recommendation on council variance CV 23046. And that is a variance for the initiation of new use. The restaurant that was there previously is no longer operating, and the owner would like to renovate the first floor and use the building, like the other preserved buildings on the site, as a residence for student housing. As a part of the conversion, the only exterior modification being proposed is demolition of the rear covered entry and replacement of the existing fire escape like for like, as shown in the submitted drawings. The submitted materials include existing condition photos, site plan, and elevations. If we click over to those, you'll see that letter regarding the preservation easement that is included for reference. This project came through the board, I believe, last July for some additional exterior alterations, including those windows and some other things like that, which you will see referenced on these drawings still. But the only thing we're looking at today is that change of use and then those minor exterior alterations for the replacement of the fire escape. So after review, the proposal is generally consistent with the recommendations of the University District Plan. The plan recommends neighborhood mixed use at the site. The request to convert the building back to a residential use is consistent with this recommendation. The plan also recommends preservation of existing contributing buildings. As the applicant would only be replacing the existing fire escape like for like and demolishing the rear covered entry, the proposal is consistent with this recommendation. The plan also discourages the conversion of existing storefronts to residential uses and recommends that residential uses provide a parking ratio of 0.5 spaces per bed. The proposal is not consistent with these guidelines. However, staff notes that the building was originally built as a residence, so therefore the conversion back is appropriate. Further, the building was allocated 35 parking spaces in the Pavey Square garage, which results in a distorted parking ratio of 5 spaces per bed. But according to the applicant, the number of spaces will meet the code requirement, which is 11, and still be housed within that existing garage. So ultimately, staff's recommendation is to approve both the variances and the design. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you be so kind as to raise your right hand? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Do you have anything you'd like to add to the city's review?
No, we've been here a few times going over this. We knew this building was coming back, and so now here we are.
Okay. Any members of the board have any questions or comments?
I would also like to report, as with the last case, that this was approved by the University Area Commission last evening. And that we did confirm the preservation easement as we considered that.
Good. Wonderful. Anyone? We good with it? We're both. We have a motion for the variance.
Yeah, I move to support the variance to convert the property from commercial use to residential use.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Mr. Reeds.
Yes.
Mr. Sublette,
Yes.
and Mr. Smansky.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And a motion for the proposed design.
Yeah, I moved to approve the design as submitted.
And I'll second that as well.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Mr. Reeds.
Yes.
Mr. Sublette,
Yes.
Mr. Smansky.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Staff approved applications. Anything of particular note? No?
No. Roofs. A lot of roofs.
I'm here.
And no removal of slate?
No.
With the, not asking for permission, that's good.
Yeah.
Did that, the one on Neil, did that ever go through the adjudicate or the process?
Yeah, so that process did go through the Board of Commission Appeals. The applicant did go through Boca. A hearing was had, I believe, in April, and Boca denied his case. And since then, so his options from there, he is able to come back to the UITRB with a new, different design and proposal, and that has not happened yet. So I've not heard from the applicant since the Boca denial.
Because he tried to get through with what, shingle?
He was trying to get through with, taking off the clay tile and putting asphalt shingle.
Oh, that one, but there was another one
That was at
on
High
the
Street.
slate roof, right?
No.
No, they were both the tile. One proposed the
That's right, we
different
had-
product that they brought us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
and you want to know if they put that on there?
Well, no, I was asking about the one on Neil, that
Oh,
if they,
okay.
because I knew he said he was gonna go to the appeals, and I didn't know if that had happened, and was the case, you said that got done.
Was the
Yeah.
project completed with that product, the
To be honest, I don't know. I drive by there all the time and I gotta look up, see,
I'll try to remember too.
Maybe it's that good.
right?
Ground level must be. All right, I move to approve the staff approved, applications.
Second.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, sure. All right, moved and seconded. Mr. Fleming,
Yes.
Mr. Reeves,
Yes.
Mr. Sublette,
Yes.
Mr. Smansky.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I move that we adjourn.
Sounds good. Thank you all.
That's
This could be a new record.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
It is